This is on the road out to Watauga. It's like a little mill of some sort. Yeah, St. John Milling Company. Go by a little airport on the road to Watauga. Getting into the town of Watauga city limits. Borderline Carter County. And Washington is, Johnson City is in Washington County. Watauga is in Carter County. Here we're on the corner of West 4th and North 4th. Actually, East and West 4th is the continuation of Watauga Road. I just came wide up Watauga Road in the last video, and it's right here on the road. This building here it was on the right coming up, used to be the elementary school, and this is where Daddy went to school. Now it's Watauga City Hall and Police Department, but it used to be the elementary school. A little community. I don't know how many people live here, but it's very small. I saw a little store. Now it's a fire department. Volunteer fire department back here. This is a sign in front of the City Hall here, in front of the school, that says Daniel Boone Trail from North Carolina to Kentucky, 1769, marked by Tennessee Daughters of the American Revolution. So. I see an address on this tree. It says 106. West 4th, I guess. It's actually the second house from the corner. This was the first house down there. Here's the house that Daddy was raised in. This was a house owned by John William and Cordelia Marshall. He lived here with his grandparents after his mother and father got divorced. Libby and I came out here, and the owner showed us through the house 4 or 5 years ago. There's a separate entrance in front, and that was owned and operated by somebody else. The family, the Marshall family, lived in this house. It was Marshall grandparents, and I think Bruce and Alma lived here. Aunt Lynn lived here, and my father lived here with them. And Marie lived here most of the time, but sometimes she left. He lived here, he was born in 1923, so he lived here probably until, I don't know, 1940 something, because Libby said she was born here and lived here as well. She was born in 1946. And she moved into the rock house, and we'll go see that next, when she was in 3rd grade. There's a lot of newer homes in the community now. Large lots. Just drive up and down some of these streets in Watauga. It's an interesting old brick house. That's about as old as the other one is, too. It's a church. There's an old store. Hagee's Grocery. This side's an old church. It's Watauga Quarry. Here's a home, 815 East Watauga Avenue. This is the home that Bruce and Alma and Libby and Wally, we called him, back then lived in. From the time Libby was in 3rd grade for 3 or 4 years. This is on East Watauga Avenue, which is a one-way street. There's a little creek down there. I remember playing in that creek, floating sticks down it or something, whenever we came to visit. There's a rest home across the street. House is made out of rocks. Libby calls it the rock house. Looks like fencing around the back that didn't used to be there, but the house is basically the sign. 2 or 3 years ago when I was here, actually 4 or 5 years ago when I was here, Libby and I went inside and took a tour of the house, and I have some still photos of them somewhere. Pictures of the old downtown Johnson City. It's a church on this corner, and the public library, Johnson City Public Library, is on this corner. Here's the St. John's Episcopal Church. It was built by my grandfather, John William Marshall. I think its sign says 1905. I'll get more photos of it. Built out of rocks, hand-laid rocks. Here's the front of the church on South Rome Street. There's a plaque that says St. John's Church, AD 1905. I think the story is that he was contracted and moved his family over here to build this church from either West Virginia or Virginia where they were living. Took on the construction of this church. This is 205 West Fairview, but I think it's the same as 205 North Fairview listed in the phone directory, where John William Baker and Minnie Bell Baker lived until they died, and this is the house that we interviewed them in 1959. Here's a house, 408 East Watauga Avenue. Listed John William and Minnie Baker as living here in the 1928 Johnson City Directory. Just glad to take a picture of it, 408 East Watauga Avenue. 215 Locust Street. This is the house that John William, Minnie Bell Baker, Marie Marshall, and Jack Baker lived in when my father was born. There's 2 houses here now. Don't know if they subdivided or whatever. But 215 West Locust Street, I believe. I think I'll take some photos of downtown, old downtown Johnson City, Tennessee. There's a newer part now, but this is the old part. There's a train tracks over there, you can see.